Thank you all for staying. I have some prayer cards that I'm going to give to Troy after. So this past week and a half, Jeff and I and Lorelai and Caspian went to Hanover to do meetings and for the kids to see the school and just to when I say bus or metro, they think of just lots of school buses, but showing them, no, actually they're on tracks and, just normal stuff. But Evander did not go along. He stayed with Grandma and Papa in Zeeland, Michigan. And so he had one of these prayer cards, and he carried it everywhere. And Mommy and Papa, Daddy, Mommy and Daddy, Mommy and Daddy is, Mommy and Daddy. And so that's also why he's not here right now, because otherwise I'd be holding him, because he can't be in the same room as me and not be sitting on my lap. I dried my hair this morning while holding him. So, you guys all know who I am, I think. Does anybody not know who I am? That you've started coming since I left? Awesome. Okay, so I'm Chelsea, and then, can you go back to that picture just a sec, because I really like it. So Jeff is preaching right now in Fairview, that's why he's not here. And Lorelai just broke her leg 2 days ago. So we got back, and we're battling jet lag, and I said, please, just go in the basement and play while I make macaroni and cheese, and then we will watch Bluey, and then we will go to bed by 7. We're gonna push till 7. So she was downstairs, and she's fallen on her scooter a gazillion times in the basement, and this time she cracked a bone. So she did take a shower this morning, and Jeff brushed her hair, but if you can be praying for her, because she's really scared about going to school tomorrow. It's a little stress fracture right below her kneecap. So Caspian just turned 6 while we were in Germany, and he's so easygoing, but he also has no control of his volume of his voice, so talks very, very loud. And then Evander is going to be 2 in December, beginning of December, and then you see the bear, that's our Sebastian bear. So if you remember, Evander is an identical twin to Sebastian, and Sebi passed away at 4 days old. He just couldn't go to the bathroom. Something didn't wake up, and then it started affecting his brain. So, he is praising the Lord right now. So that's our family, and then our dog Luna, she's 4 and a half, and she's probably going to be living in Sibley for a year, for sure, which my mom says, and my dad didn't know the plan, so you can be praying for my dad too. So that's our family. Go ahead to the next slide. These are the things that I'm going to be walking through. You can go to the next one, Brenda, sorry. Okay, so Jeff is from, I kind of all said all of this, but just so you can see the kids, we love Pokemon. So if you follow us, you will see Pokemon. Okay, go ahead. Oh, okay. I put together this slide, and it's a slideshow for lots of churches. So you guys know all of this already. You can go to the next slide. Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. Okay, so here is a map of Europe, and you can see Germany in the middle. Unlike Romania, most people didn't have a geography of where Romania was, but most people know where Germany is. It's further north than I thought, actually. And then Hanover you can see it, is up in the lower Saxony area. And so my family, Harbert's side, comes from right on the border of the Netherlands and Germany. Many of you have that too. Edam and Rysum is where my family's from. And so that's about 2 hours from Hanover. If you have done research of where your family comes from, that's about how far Hanover is from there. Go ahead. So our call, okay. So Jeff and I have tried to, after we got done with Global Mission in Romania, we asked God to give us different opportunities to be able to be present within Global Mission. And one of those was, I was put on a group called Global Mission Innovation Team. That is a team of people who have Not a lot of money, but a lot of great ideas. There's another group that has a lot of money, and they are not me. And that's fine. God has called us to all different things. So that's the ambassadors, and then the innovation team. If you meet an ambassador, Tom Smith from Rock Valley, he's on that, and they will say, that's the old group and this is the young group, but that's not true. It just is the way it is. So I'm on the innovation team, and about a year ago, we were meeting together thinking of different ways to love and support our missionaries for Global Mission. And jokingly, the director, his name is JP, and he went to Northwestern College, he said, you could always come back. And I knew about this church in Hanover. And I also knew that the couple who are pastoring it are like upper 40s, so they're not retiring. So jokingly I said, yeah, cool, JP. Whenever Gretchen retires, you just let me know. And then Scott, who is the supervisor, he said, Chelsea, Gretchen just messaged me like 2 weeks ago, and they're gonna retire in 2024. I was like, no. I planted fruit trees in Fairview. Like, this is not what I'm going to do. We are gonna live in Fairview, Illinois, between our parents, and it's gonna be lovely, and not move to Germany. And that is not what happened. We were deciding to move to Germany. So, still kind of living in the presence of that. That was not what we expected. Like I said, we planted fruit trees and asparagus, and I'm not going to get to harvest that asparagus or my pears. So we are called to be pastors. When we were in Romania, we loved being missionaries, and we felt like, for a myriad of reasons, we passed on the ministry to other Romanians. We had young kids, and it was hard to work with college students. But also, we felt a deep sense of our call of ordination as ministers, and we weren't living into that. And so, when we came to Fairview, we felt very grateful that we were able to co-pastor. And so this call is co-pastoring the English language worship Relish. So Relish stands for Reformed English Language International Service of Hanover. I did it. And it's in this old Reformed church that was bombed out in World War II. Most of Hanover was bombed out in World War II. And it is a service that is a ministry of the German Reformed Church. So it is not non-denominational. It's based in the Reformed Church. And then the other part of our call is working with the WCRC, which is the World Communion of Reformed Churches. You can go to the next page. And the WCRC has ministry. It connects denominations and churches across the globe who are Reformed. So Presbyterian churches of Guyana and Pakistan and China and Germany and the United States. All of them are part of the WCRC, and its home of their small amount of staff is in Hanover. And so I will be the person who connects congregations and denominations from Canada to the Caribbean. And oh shucks, the meetings are going to be in the Cayman Islands next year. I have to go to that in October, and I'm so sad about it. So I am the point person for all the different denominations, connecting ministries between what's happening in Canada. So when there were the forest fires that were happening in Canada, how could the drought that's happening in the Cayman Islands, how can we connect ministries and people together to be praying together? After COVID, even though I know we're kind of still there, but post-COVID, what is the theology of touch when we come to the communion table? How do we relate to one another in a place where we're having Zoom services, but also celebrating communion together. That is a conversation that is happening across the globe. So why not have it together rather than one denomination trying to conversation about it with a different answer in a different place? Like, why would we do that when we can have a conversation together? That's what the work of the WCRC does. And so you saw that there was also the CANIC, which I'm not super great at that acronym yet, but it's the Canada to the Caribbean Ministries. So that's what my job is, while also co-pastoring with Jeff. So what we love about this call is it's very feet on the ground serving and seeing globally what God is doing. Because the beauty of the Relish congregation is that it is all about hospitality. If you are in Hanover for a weekend or for 4 years because Caterpillar told you you had to go, you love Jesus, your main language is English, you need a home to celebrate Christ and have a body. And that is what Relish is. So it is people who live in Hanover or are visiting who love Jesus Christ, and English is their main language. So you have people from Indonesia and China and Colombia and Cuba and Canada and the United States and Germany, because Germans want to learn English too, all worshiping together. Italians, Ukrainian refugees, all together, where German is not, maybe they learned English in school, but they haven't learned German yet, so they're going to worship in English. And it's so a space of hospitality, because you have people who are coming in where they're not at home. And that is something that Jeff and I loved when we worked with college students in Romania. So it's a combination of co-pastoring and hospitality. Go ahead to the next slide. So our next spot, so this, just so you can see the pictures, the farthest picture is Lorelei and Caspian standing in front of the new courthouse. New in Europe is a different word than the United States, but that's the new courthouse. And then the middle one is the children's sermon with Gretchen, who is retiring next year, leading. And then this is Lorelei and Caspian on the metro with Jeff, waiting for the bus. So just so you could kind of see a little bit of the city. So we're going to be, Lord willing, staying in Fairview, co-pastoring and serving there until the end of the school year, probably doing VBS, because VBS is a big deal, and they really want us to be there for VBS, so we will probably end after VBS. And then we will move into full-time fundraising. Phil and Gretchen are leaving at the end of July, beginning of August, so what we would like is to be as seamless as possible for that congregation, because we want that ministry to keep thriving while we're not there. So if there has to be a time where there's an interim pastor just for like a month, I don't know, pastors sometimes like to go to Germany for holiday for like a month. So we have a few people in line if there needs to be a little cushion between Phil and Gretchen leaving and us coming. But we're serving Fairview as faithful as we can until May or June. We're fundraising together, and we're learning German as hard as we can. So that's what we're doing. Go ahead. Here's some different ways that we can be praying together, and on the prayer card too, there's ways to pray together. You can put that on your fridge. We look good in that picture. So pray for faithfulness and raising support. I remember when my parents were in the process of adopting Sarah Yapio, this is talking about you, my parents said, "You are robbing people of the ability to walk beside your family if you don't ask for support and care." And we take that very seriously of God calls some of us to go, and God calls some of us to support and encourage and walk beside. And I could probably still name you most of the congregations that supported us in Romania, because those relationships were so important to us. And so we hold that deeply, and we continue to pray for the support. And we know that people who supported us before are not going to support us this time. And we also know that some will. And all of those relationships are God showing his faithfulness. So old relationships, new ones. We're just excited to walk beside each other. We are praying through specifically what school the kids are going to. There's a few different options in Hanover that would have varying degrees of English and German mix, especially for Lorelai, because she'll be going into 5th grade, so be praying for that. Please pray for our family of Fairview. They are being asked to walk faithfully a road that they didn't see coming, and neither did we, but we at least had more time to think about it before it was thrown on them. So please pray for our congregation of Fairview and that we can walk beside them well as they grieve and then find hope. And pray for, German. It's a lovely language. Please pray for that. And we're already praying for the school and for our kids and our community of what we are going to walk into. We are praying that Lorelai has a couple best friends. And I think that that is kind of a bold prayer, but also a faithful prayer, because she needs that. So be praying for Lorelai. She'll be going into 5th grade when we're there. And it's just really important. So thank you. Next slide. Okay, I kept this picture in here because this is a church that was bombed out during the war, and they keep it like this as a memorial in the city, as a statement of hope of what is to come. So we are also praying for you. And if you want to send us emails or connect with us, our emails are also on here, or my mom and dad. If you want to ask us questions or want to send us, when we were there in Romania, you guys sent us cards and Christmas cards and gifts and different things like that. The post office will not be 2 hours away in Hanover like it was in Lupin. So if you want to connect with us, we are not as far away as we were in Romania. That's what I keep telling my parents. So if you want to connect, or if you want us to connect with you, we can be present with technology in different ways now. So let us know how we can be praying for you, because we see that the road is 2 ways. And we love you deeply, and we want to be praying for you as well. So are there any questions? My grandma's going to be so proud. I have about 7 minutes. Are there any questions? Skuntanis, yeah.
So my question is, Phil was really good about walking the streets of Hanover and taking and posting pictures of manhole covers on social media. So are you going to do that as well?
I will try and pick that up. He's also very good at playing Pokemon Go, which he tried to win Caspian over. He's like, he's going to love me by the end. And I was like, of course he will, Phil. It's fine. Yeah. Yes. Caspian was geeked. The zoo is amazing, so he was won over. There's a Lego store. So it's about, let's see. I think that if you took Sioux Falls and you made it less into a driving city and more into a walking city with Metro, I think population-wise it's about the same. And there's an airport probably the same size as Sioux Falls, so it's similar to Sioux Falls. Lorelai liked it, and it's really hard. Yeah, she's having a hard time imagining. So.
How large a church is it?
Yeah, the Relish congregation has been going for 8 years, and so transient, right? Always changing. But roughly 50 to 60 people on a service Sunday, which is pretty good. That's about the same size as our church in Fairview. Praying. She asked if we know where we'll live. Phil and Gretchen have an apartment, and it would be so nice if we could just move into that apartment. because in Germany, when you move, you take not only your like appliances and stuff, but you also take your kitchen counters. So you walk into apartments and there's the kitchen with nothing in it except for like the hoses. So we're just really praying that we can live where Phil and Gretchen live, because they also have a washer and a dryer and a dishwasher. And the apartment is right on the metro line from the church to the school that we would like to send our kids to. So it is. It's big enough. It's got 4 bedrooms, so y'all can come visit, not at the same time, but y'all can come visit. And it's got, a lovely living room and dining room and, 2 bathrooms. So it's nice. Yeah. I know when my parents, when we first talking about this, they only pictured the communist block apartments of Le Pen. And I was like, no, this is like high ceiling, really pretty German apartment. So that's the one I want to move to. So, pray it and it will be, right? Jesus, please let me move into that apartment. Other things. We will not need a car. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to me too, because I've never not had a car. So where does all like your umbrellas go? And the kids, like the things that your launchers, they just are always in the car. What do you do with that? But we won't have a car. Phil and Gretchen have not had a car for 10 years, but they said if they want to go, it's just cheaper to rent a car and go for the weekend. Or the train. When we were there this past week, we took the fast train, the ICE, to Essen to a really big board game convention, because we really like board games. But that was like a 2-hour train ride, and it was so slick. It was so easy. So, because Hanover is a base. Lots of trains come through there, because it's kind of the Berlin over down to France and the Netherlands. Lots of trains come through Hanover. So, Lord willing. Every 3 years, the RCA reevaluates where missionaries, if they feel still called to their place. We are praying that we stay there long enough for our kids to establish in the school and not have to transition from school again. So, yeah. Please.